Franklin Beverages, which
Yep.
I selected from the list of industries that were on the branch because I put a phone system in for them
Yep.
early in my career. The Gibraltar Avenue water plant, because it figures prominently in the aerial photos. Waukesha Electric, a transformer plant, and here, let's just kill the lights here, and you can see there's a lit interior, and you can maybe catch some of the workers in the office with their terminals lit up. Earl Gerbavon did this building. He actually also did the water plant. Most of the really good stuff on the layouts, Earl's work. I have an amazing bunch of structure guys who like to come over here and build stuff. If you look over here, the more or less generic tilt-up offices have these modern Hubble light fixtures. It's sort of the standard light fixture. Nobody made them, so I had a friend draw them up, and
they're the ones which are shapeways, aren't they?
Yes, and
I bought some of those.
Oh well, very good. So then you know about them, and then we have our drain scuppers, and most of the buildings, or most of the newer ones anyway, have our little video cameras looking along there. This one is Parks Electronic Distributors, and that came about. It's not actually rail served, as you can see.
Yep.
Because one of a neighbor a couple of miles up the road is David Parks, and he's got a beautiful Baltimore, Ohio layout. So the fellow who was building this likes to name buildings after people on the crew, and nobody really wanted to be named because we're all prototypers. So we decided that it would be Parks, one park, because that's some Korean guy who owned the electronics distributor. And then Bottomley Distributing over there really was rail served at one time. They had moved and weren't by '99. So we've got a lot of booze distributors on the layout. There's also a winery we'll come to. Smurfett Stone's box warehouse really was there, although they have since moved a few blocks from the railroad. And let's see. I'll kill another light here just because it's Snowboy. Now this is a bulk transfer, which really does exist, and everything's a little out of the way because we were trying to not wreck anything while working. But what happened here was, because it was at the end of the peninsula, we needed to create a little visual space.
Yep.
So we put the silos in just to create some visual differentiation. The real one, they just take big blowers and blow pellets out of the cars into trucks. But what we've done is added the structure, and it was fairly generic. So we ended up, and this was mostly driven by Earl and Peter Parkinson, adding a lot of detail, cyclone filter, and this walkway. And we just finished adding these floodlights. We took a Walther's container kit, which was pretty lacking in detail, and turned it into a detailed yard office. It's got all kinds of fun stuff. There's a phone on the desk. There's there was a phone on the desk. Wonder where it went. And it's actually the correct centerfold model.
Always important.
Yes.
Yeah, those kind of things.
Scaled way down. I think you have to know that. You can barely make out that it's a woman, much less Miss March, but there she is. So the inevitable thing about the 2-foot aisle, right? So Snowboy, this bolt transfer facility, is part of the NUMMI complex. NUMMI is it's now the Tesla plant, but in '99 it was a joint venture between General Motors and Toyota. And they were one of the most productive Toyota facilities in North America. That deal ended when GM went into bankruptcy in 2008. Interesting and long story what was going on there, but the plant is still there. Tesla's using it, and within the plant, there's essentially 5 sub-industries if you want to count Snowboy. There's a drivetrain track, a steel track, because there's a stamping plant here, a general auto parts, things like seats and miscellaneous electrical components. Over at that end, there's spots for the 86-foot body parts cars. So those are large, high cube, fairly light stuff. This was a major stamping plant. They receive steel. They pretty much, we're also suggesting some container traffic. At various times, we'll probably cut that back a little bit because the track's a little longer than we need, and the loading area is a little compressed. But we were able to actually, and again, Earl figured this out, trailers from yellow to red. And we'll have another building in this complex. It's he had it over on Monday. It was pretty close. A bag warehouse over here.
Okay.
And let's see. So as we come around the corner, we're going into Niles Canyon. There was a brick factory here. It was actually kind of a ruin by '99, but we keep it in service, so there's a little bit more work for the local. And he sells drain tiles, and they're shipped to Pacific route that came into the Bay Area before they finished the bridge across the Carquinez Strait in 1930. And they operated until they had a washout in =85, and then they got trackage rights to use the Western Pacific name, or at that point it was UP on the other side. But it has several distinctive skewed, pin-connected truss bridges, so Dave Parks built one. And watch your step over there, too much junk on the floor. The other end of Hearst Siding and Verona Road is always within view through this area, so it would look funny if you didn't have it. We have the commuter station,
Yep.
the winery, what are they called? Villa Armando Winery. That actually is pretty close to what the shipping area looked like, but it was really gone a few years earlier. It's now a huge condo development. The fun thing about it is that it was always rumored to be a mafia front. The lady in the Historical Society who helped me find the photos swears that it was just a family feud, and my friend Jim Providenza, who might actually drop by this afternoon, was a police officer in Livermore at the time, and said he never heard that they were the mafia, but it's a great story. We do ship them a cement hopper once in a while, so we can dispose of their rivals. And Rickert Lumber was much larger. It had a different name at the time, but it was rail served. And then here's another one of Earl's structures, the gravel breaker at
An award-winning structure.
Yes, yes. Well, so is that one. That one got, I think, 113.
Yeah.
This one was only 104. You heard that story. It didn't have any signage, so.
Yes. So they put.
So,
Yes, it's that no.
yeah, that's good.
Okay.
So let's see here. Is his headlight hot? What's with the headlights here? Oh, yeah, it needs to be forward. Yeah. Alright. Trains are running, but.
Turn that back.
That's good. Well, maybe I haven't started. Oh, there we go. Okay, track has probably not been. Okay, so all that said, your mission, should you decide to accept, I would go in and probably work trailing point first, hold the poles, and if it says, don't worry too much about these, they all go back to Milpitas. That's for the yardmaster's benefit. And there's picks here and here. Yeah. And the pin's away.
Excellent.
Put him back.
Yep.
And that's just one.